If you watch this video to the end, you're going to learn three things. Number one, we're going to talk about what is a domain name. Number two, we're going to talk about where to get a domain name. And number three, how to get a domain name. So starting off with what is a domain name. A domain name is simply the website URL you would type in to go to someone's website, or in your case, your website. So for example, I could have a home construction company building homes, and I could create a domain name called nickscustomhomes.com. And anytime someone goes to this website URL in the browser or typing it in on Google, my website would pull up. So in order to have a website, you need to start by buying a domain URL. Now, where do we buy domain URLs? Well, there's several different sites. You've probably heard of GoDaddy. There's ones you can buy direct from your hosting company, which we'll talk about hosting here shortly. Or you can go to a place called Namecheap.com. I found Namecheap to have the cheapest prices when buying domain names. So for example, if we're going to hop over here onto my computer screen, we're just going to go to Namecheap.com, and you're going to see this bar here in the middle of the page asking you to register a domain name. So all you're going to do is type in some ideas that you might have in mind. So again, we could type in Nick Foy Custom Homes. I'll just use my name for example if I'm running a home building company, and we're going to hit search, and it's going to bring up a list of different domain names, and it's also going to bring up the specific domain name nickfoycustomhomes.com. So we can see that it's currently available for $8.98 a year. Now there's a current coupon code going on, so if I type in newcom598 for example, this is the current coupon code, it's going to make this domain name $5.98. Now that's one of the cheapest prices I've ever seen on Namecheap. Normally I thought $8.98 was cheap. Most domain sites you go to, they want to charge $12, $14, $16 to buy a domain name. Alright, so here we are looking at this domain name in the .com variation. Now if we go down here, they're going to suggest a couple other options to us like .house, .net, .org. So sometimes your domain name might not be available with the .com, so if that's the case, you can always check out some of the others. Now you do want to be careful when buying domain names that you're not buying domains that have trademarks. So for example, you couldn't buy Nike.org or Nike.net. That would be obviously a trademark violation against the brand for Nike. So I try to stick to domains that have multiple words in them, usually 3-4 words, or I try to use my own personal name in my domain name so that I can make sure I'm not violating any trademarks by buying the domain. Because the worst thing that could happen is you get your domain, you get your website all set up, and down the road you get an email from an attorney asking you to take down your website because it violates some sort of trademark in the website domain URL. So make sure you can do some quick research by going to the trademark website if you're in the United States, and you can search some different words in the trademark database to make sure they're not currently trademarked and don't have any sort of copyright protection on them. So the next step, once you've found a domain name that you're ready to purchase, would just go ahead and add it to cart, and then you're going to go ahead and check out by going to the checkout button down here, or you can continue to go back to domains and do the domain name search again, and you can try a few other domain name ideas you might have. When it's all said and done, we're just going to click on the orange checkout. Now I am going to remember this code here, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy it, and then we're going to click on checkout, and it's going to reload the page. Alright, so the next step before we check out, we're going to choose how long we want to register this domain for. So every year we have to re-enroll or re-register our domain as the owner of it. So you can go ahead and buy many years in bulk if you plan to have this website for a long time. Now if you decide to just go with 1 year and you would forget to get on and re-enroll or re-register yourself for that domain name, they have auto renew set up that you can turn on. That way you don't forget. Now if you did forget, you would just lose access to your website for a couple of days until you would remember. So let's say a week or two go by and all of a sudden you remembered, hey, I forgot to get on and order or pay for my domain name again. So you have to get on, check out again, pay for it again. In your account, you'll want to have an account set up, so you're going to get an email and password that you can log in at any time to adjust the settings if you ever need to change settings to your domain name, which you will have to do with hosting, which again we'll talk about shortly. But once you've bought this domain name, you can log into your account anytime throughout the year, and you can make sure to order or pay for another year of hosting so that you can own that domain name. So I just prefer to go ahead and buy multiple years up front. So in this case, if we bought 5 years, we'd get that same rate of $9 a year. So we're going to be paying about $45. So it's good to buy in bulk because we're saving from having to pay $69 if we just did it 1 year at a time. So buying in bulk will also save you some money because the next year your domain name might go up in price. Instead of paying $9 for it, you might have to pay $15 or $13 or whatever price depending on where you're buying that domain name. So we're going to go ahead and buy in bulk so we can lock in that $9 per year rate for the next 5 years or the next 7 years or the next 10 years, depending on how long you choose to buy it. Now, domain privacy, this feature allows you to make sure that your personal information is kept private. You don't want to get spammed. I get all kinds of spam emails all the time. They still somehow find your information and find out that you own a website. And I still get emails all the time from marketers trying to promote SEO services, social media management services, and other marketing services to me, telling me they can help me, they can improve my website, they can fix things on my website. So I get all these spam emails all the time, and they get quite annoying. So making sure domain privacy is checked. It's free forever, so you don't ever have to pay for it. I always like to turn on auto renew. Once I've checked out and bought my website, you can go back into your account and you can adjust the settings and turn on auto renew for domain privacy. Premium DNS, you can see what's the benefit there. It delivers 100% DNS uptime and DDoS protection with ultra-fast DNS responses worldwide. So if you want to pay $4.88 a year to get premium DNS, this is an upsell they're trying to do to you. I prefer not to do this upsell. I don't think it's necessary, but if you're worried that your domain might go down or that you might get hit with a bunch of traffic all at once, which is a DDoS, that's where you get hit with a spam amount of traffic. So someone floods your website with traffic real quick to knock your website offline because it just can't handle the upsurge in volume of traffic all of a sudden. You could turn on this premium DNS and get charged the extra $5 a year for it. It's not a big charge, then it might protect your website if you're running a high volume website that does lots of dollars and you can't afford to lose your website going down for a day. In my case, my website never goes down because of the domain name. Usually it is tied to a plugin or some sort of other issue with my theme, which we'll get into in other videos when we start talking about WordPress to build your website. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave it unchecked, and we're going to go ahead and just continue down the page here. They've got some additional upsell items, like the SSL certificate. Now, most websites, you can get SSL certificates for free with your hosting, so I don't think it's necessary to pay for it. If you have VPN, you can get safe and fast browsing, so again, it protects your privacy, and you can enjoy secure, fast, anonymous browsing. You could try this out. It's a free trial. They have easy WordPress hosting that they're trying to sell you for $25 a year. I pay about $6 to $10 a year for my website hosting, so I don't think it's worth buying easy WordPress hosting. Now, you could do some research, find out that maybe this is a great website host that collaborates well with the WordPress platform, but I still prefer to use my preferred host, and that is Siteground. You can check out the link in the video description of this video, or just go to asknickfoy.com/Siteground, and you can check out Siteground. They're a website hosting company that you have to have in order to have a website on the internet. So you're basically hosting your website for you. They store all your files for your website and in their database, and they allow your website to be up live on the internet combined with your domain name. So you need both the domain name and the website hosting to have a website. So again, we're going to talk more about hosting coming up at the end of this video. Professional email, you can set up again through your website hosting company, so I don't think it's necessary to pay for it here. You can also integrate Gmail into your website, so you can have a Gmail email address if you prefer to use Google products as opposed to having your own domain run off your own hosting platform. So I don't necessarily love the email systems that the hosting platforms have, so I usually like to set up a domain email address like nick@nickscustomhomes.com, for example. So it's my name at my domain URL website as my email, but then I link it up with Gmail so that I can just use Gmail's platform and go into the inbox on Gmail as opposed to having to sign in to my website hosting account. So some of these are just upsells. I don't really think we need any more of these. I'm just simply explaining to you quickly what they are and why you probably don't need them, because a lot of these are covered when we go through our hosting platform like Siteground. So I can go ahead here and just click confirm order. Now that I've decided, I'm just going with the email. Now if you have an account, you can log in. If you don't have an account, you can quickly create your username, password, enter your email, first name, last name, and you can go ahead and click create account and continue. Now before we go to the final page where we're going to enter our credit card information and finish the checkout, I'm going to scroll back up here to where it says promo code. So you can paste in your promo code here that you found out on the website. So in this case, I would paste in the coupon code that was going to make this $5.68 for the domain name. Now there's also a way to go on Google and type in Namecheap coupons. And there's actually a website right here that's by Namecheap.com. It's their promo codes and coupons page. So when we open up this page, you can see any coupons that are valid currently from January 1st to January 31st, 2022. So these are the January coupons they have going right now. So when we're registering a domain, you can get a discount using this code here. So you can just copy this code here and we can go paste it back on the other screen. But I'm going to go ahead and just use the code they were already giving me out on the domain's name search page. That's the one that's going to make it cheap so that we can get our domain for under $6. Alright, so once you've completed checkout, you've put in your credit card information and you've gone ahead and purchased your domain, you can sign into your account and you can scroll down here and see your dashboard. You can see all the domains that you currently own by going to domain list. When your domains are about to expire, you'll find them under expiring/expired. This is where you have a chance to repurchase them and get your website back live if you forgot about renewing your domain name. So we can go down here and find different settings. So for this one, nickfoymedia.com, for example, we can just go to manage. Now here on the domain screen, we can see that the current status of the domain is active. It tells us when it's going to expire. So this one will expire September 28th, 2022. I have the chance now to turn on auto renew if I want to have it automatically renew itself so that I can continue to use it every year and not have to worry about my website going down because my domain name expired and I forgot to pay for it. So auto renew comes in handy. You can click add years if you want to add multiple years so you don't have to worry about doing it 1 year at a time. There's also the name servers down here. So this is the main setting you're going to come in and change once you've purchased website hosting. So I use Siteground, for example. So once I've set up my hosting over on Siteground, Siteground's going to give me specific name servers. I'm going to copy those two different name servers and I paste them in here under custom DNS. So this is a drop-down menu. So you have Namecheap Basic DNS as the default, but you're going to need to use the drop-down menu, come to custom DNS, and then you're going to copy paste your name servers that you find on your hosting platform. So on Siteground, they had the one called ns1.siteground.net that I copied and pasted, and then ns2.siteground.net. So this allows Siteground and Namecheap to communicate with each other so that they're connected now, so that our domain name is hooked up to our Siteground account. And now anytime someone types in our website domain, then the domain's going to get loaded up to Siteground, and that's where Siteground then loads all the website files, and that's how your website comes up live on the internet. So the two work hand in hand together. Again, if you go to asknickfoy.com/Siteground, it's going to reload the page and you're going to see Siteground. This is my affiliate link here. So there's going to be some code up here. This tells Siteground I sent you. It helps you get a discounted rate on your hosting. It also helps me earn a one-time commission fee that Siteground pays me. So it's no extra cost to you. It just helps me make a little bit of extra money to support my online website business that I run. So you're helping me out and you're going to possibly be getting discounted hosting. For example, right now you can save up to 73% on your website hosting. So all we're going to do is just go to view plans here under reliable web hosting, and this is going to be where we can choose if we want to pay $4 a month for hosting, $6.69 a month, or $10.69. Now these are really good rates right now. We're saving 73%. It used to be $15 a month, $25 a month, and $40 a month. So if you remember over on Namecheap, they were trying to sell us some website hosting with one of their affiliate partners they partnered with, and they were wanting to charge $25 a month. So that would be comparable to like the Grow Big plan here on Siteground, but you can get it over here on Siteground for $6.69 a month. Now, just because you're paying less doesn't mean this is less quality service. I actually think Siteground is one of the best hosting companies out there. They are always up. The website's always up, always has 100% uptime for me. Super fast page load speed. So when I click into different pages on my website, they load really fast. Don't have to worry about people leaving your website because it's slow. And there's also lots of other benefits you get when you use Siteground, such as free email, free SSL certificate to make sure your website URL is secure. And then you also get benefits on the back end. There's a plugin, the Siteground plugin that comes with your WordPress install. And so that allows you to optimize your website further on a bunch of technical things to make it perform faster and smarter than just the basic WordPress website install. So Siteground, can't talk highly about them enough. If you have one website, that would be the time that you might want to buy just the $4.99 or the $3.99, so $4 a month for this plan. But if you plan to have multiple websites, then you would want to upgrade to the unlimited website plan for $6.69 a month. So it's not a big price jump. Now, when you're hosting renews, you're going to be paying a difference between the $15 a month and the $25 a month. So an extra $10 a month, so an extra $120 a year. You're going to be paying for the Grow Big plan compared to the startup plan when it comes time to renew hosting. So again, just like with the domain name, I recommend buying as much hosting at one time as possible. So for example, buying 5 years of hosting to get the discounted rate of $4 a month for the next 5 years, because once that finally comes up for renewal, you will have to start paying the normal price again. So if you only bought 1 year, then next year you'd have to start paying $15 a month, so it can start getting more expensive. So try to buy as much hosting at once as you can if you plan to have a long-term website. If you're unsure if your website's going to be around next year, you're just doing a trial and error, then you could go ahead and just pay the $4 a month this year, and then if you decide to keep your website next year, you renew your hosting and it goes back up, to the $15. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make another video walking you step by step about website hosting, what it is, why you need it, how to purchase it through Siteground, different features and benefits you get. So go ahead and check out that video in the description for this YouTube video. I'm going to link to that video so you can watch it when it comes out. So now you're going to know everything there is to know about domain names. And next we're going to talk about website hosting, and these two are going to work together to allow you to get your website live on the internet.